Hey guys, Sinome here, and today I'm going to be analyzing this game of the blue Terran Jabronie, who is also a Redditor. So this is going to be a Protoss versus Terran. His opponent is a whole bunch of letters that I don't feel like remembering. It has the Red Protoss, and this map is Scrap Station. So again, Jabronie is borderline gold from silver, so he's I guess on the fence around there between silver and gold. So the first thing to note about this is the matchup, and the second thing is the map. So first off, the matchup is Jabronie is the Terran player, so he really wants to take advantage of what Terran has. He wants to make sure that he can secure this base as kind of as soon as possible, because once he has two bases, Terran is pretty solid on two bases, and he can defend this pretty easily with tanks, especially this ridge he can use very well. Put some tanks up here, get some detection, just to make sure any DTs, I guess, don't do anything too strange. And there is going to be this problem of this wide gap, or, well, not really too wide, but it's quite a bit faster to go an air route. So Void Rays, Phoenixes are less likely, but Void Rays are certainly a big threat on this map because of that because of that short distance. So Jabronie is probably going to want to prioritize Vikings over Medivacs. Jabronie just starting up that wall. I'm sorry if I'm stuttering a little bit more than usual. I'm pretty tired right now. So Jabronie getting that barracks normal timing. The gas teeny bit early. I usually get mine when my orbital command starts going, but that's okay. So that scout is going to get in from consonants. I'm going to say consonants because I don't want to say, what is it, SKWSH? Yeah. And Jabronie is going to complete this wall. It's not the best wall. It could be a little bit more efficient, but it gets the job done. He's probably just going to lay down another depot over here eventually. Orbital command now down, and I expect a meal to be coming soon. And he is getting that second gas. So let's see if Jabronie decides to favor a more infantry heavy or mech based army. Nothing too interesting going on yet. He does have this scout out, which I forgot to mention when he sent that out. And he's going to see a decent amount of stuff going on in consonant spaces. Or base, consonants, whatever. Looks like that first marauder is now out. So it looks like Jabronie will be going for that infantry heavy build, and yeah, he's going to seal that off with another supply depot. Of course, I do already know that because I've seen this replay before, because I'm just analyzing these, and I don't really need the surprise to make things a little bit more enthusiastic. I'm actually going to speed this up a bit. So we can see that robo facility going down for consonants, getting that warp gate tech. And Jabronie is content to just focus on these marauders for now. Now he's getting up that factory. Yeah, okay. I'd like it a little bit more out here, maybe even down here. But positioning, really not that big of a deal. Especially at this level. I mean, it's barely a big deal in, say, like Diamond. Well, the position of this factory anyway. The wall could use a little bit of work for the higher leagues. Jabronie going to sit down the tech lab, so tanks will be on the way, and actually going to put out the starport pretty quickly. That's a good idea because Vikings are very important on this map to maintain the airspace control between these two bases on this island. Make sure that your opponent can't safely take this, even if you don't choose to take it for yourself, because base here, an established base here, makes it very difficult. I do think that stalkers can still blink across, but I'm not completely sure. Looks like a raven coming out first. That's a little interesting. Actually, I'm going to slow this back down. So siege check is just about done. When he's got siege mode up, then he should feel pretty comfortable taking a second base. He doesn't have that great of a scout. Looks like, how much does he know? Oops. I do think that this SCV saw a decent amount of the base. Maybe not. Let's speed that up a bit. No, looks like not. Okay, so he doesn't know what army our Protoss player has, so he can't really feel completely comfortable expanding off of this. But with that siege mode, with these nice ledges to play with these rocks intact, and he does have a pretty significant army here. I assume Vikings, yeah, should be on the way. There we go. And then from there, he does have a reasonable amount of control, and he does know that his opponent hasn't expanded either. So there's probably going to be a tech build. Yeah, Colossi coming out. That's interesting. Okay, so the Colossi is kind of an odd choice, considering, well, they're okay against these marauders. They're not great, but they're okay. But usually you want to go Colossi when your opponent is going for a more marine-heavy build. Looks like this Viking will take out that Observer with the help of this Raven. And Banshees, not sure if I like that. So Banshees are okay if you're either going for them early, like rushing Banshees, or once you've maintained air control, so once you've established it. But right now, Jabronie doesn't have a good idea of what's here, so there could be a fleet of Void Rays on the way, or maybe a few Phoenixes even. That would just really ruin his day once that Banshee came in, and the Banshee would just be wasted resources. Jabronie is doing a moderately good job here at macroing. He is getting a expansion up, and he's got quite a few Marauders over here. Ooh, supply block. That's a little annoying. Looks like Consonant is getting up his expansion as well, and Jabronie is going to scout this, so he should know that Consonant, our Protoss player, is a little vulnerable right now. That's 400 minerals not spent on army. Let's see, Blink being researched. Always fun on Scrap Station. There we go, Jabronie finally taking that natural. Well, 11 minutes into the game, that's okay. This Banshee is going to do a little bit of harassment, but again, not even being too efficient. Those Banshees, or those Stalkers, going to blink in completely unnecessarily. That Banshee should have been going for this probe line. These pylons extremely unimportant, because even if he killed this one, yeah, I think this one would still be powering this Twilight Council, which isn't even researching anything right now. But again, the Banshee was pretty much just wasted there. Looks like he is going to be keeping up production on those Vikings. I'm still a little confused on the early Raven. It's taking down a few observers, but that's about it. And I do think that a Viking before that Raven would have been a better choice, because that's mostly because of this map. I'd probably do the same thing if it was, say, close air spawn on Lost Temple. And Jabronie, I think it'd be a good idea for him to take down these rocks. So, Terran is the most immobile race. It has difficulty moving moving all around the map quickly. Like, Zerg has fast units, adequately fast units, your speedlings, your banelings, your mutas, and Protoss has the warp gate tech, so they can reinforce wherever they need to. But Terran does have those, the most powerful, well, one of the most powerful units in the game are the siege tanks, and they are immobile when they're at their strongest. Looks like Jabronie actually going to choose to go Medivacs here. Medivacs, if you wanted to go for a drop, sure, but they're not that great support. I mean, they will help out, but you shouldn't be going for a lot of Medivacs, at least right now. Getting this base up and mining, that's good. And a little bit of a conflict here. You really need to siege up these tanks a little bit earlier, would have been nice. Save some units. Ooh, good. This is going to be pretty close, actually. Looks like this prone to French drone is actually going to be pretty nice. He has very low energy left. And Jabronie actually able to take control here, and he's moving in. I don't really know about this. If he wants to move in, he should move all the way in. Make sure that, yeah, these reinforcement units aren't going to have an easy time defending. Now he's going to lose all this army. Might be able to save that Viking. And he is. And he's actually going for this gold, and this is really ambitious from Jabronie. So if he had just sat here and kept up the contain, yeah, he would have been free to expand here. He probably could have even double expanded to this area as well. And that money is starting to get a little bit high. What are we on? 3 Raxes? And still the single factory and queued up units. I'm not a really big fan of queuing up these expensive units like the tanks. I mean, better than the Thor, but still. If you want to queue this up, you should be doing it near the end of that cycle, I guess, when this is at around 35 or 40, just so you can spend more money faster. It looks like he's going to use mules here. This is a great idea, even if he doesn't saturate this base at all. As long as he keeps mules here, they're going to... Let's just look at the income. Yeah, it's 600, 800-ish minerals more per second, or 800, I don't know what this is, per minute? Probably per minute. Over his Protoss opponent, who is obviously one base behind, not having this gold. And normal command, that's pretty risky. I think a planetary fortress would be a lot more secure, because again, Terran is very immobile, so it's going to take a long time to reinforce all the way from his natural to this gold. So a planetary fortress is actually probably more advisable for Terran, unless he knows that he has map control, unless he's established a contain over here. And yeah, we can see Continents just exploiting that, gonna move his entire army there. Actually, a little unnecessary. He probably could have brought half the stalkers and left everything else at base. And now Jabronie's gonna try and save that, but it's way too late at this point. This open command will go down. Actually, a planetary fortress wouldn't have helped much there, but say maybe making a contain here would have definitely prevented that, or at least made our Protoss player hesitate a little bit. Ooh, more Medivacs. Ooh, I really don't like this choice of going so heavy Medivac. He does have a decent force, so there's a bit of an engagement here. Nothing too interesting. Jabronie should be able to take this, actually. Nice job with those siege tanks. But there's a lot of Medivacs in the air. 3, 5... Okay, so looks like it's just 4 Medivacs in the air, but still, he only has 1 with his army, and the other ones are just sitting there idle, and he's not going to be using them for drops, which drops are okay on this map. They're actually pretty good. This back area right behind the mineral line, and the main over here. Maybe if you could sneak around to this area. Usually, there's not too much built over here. In this map, it's an in this game, it's an exception. Jabronie should probably be rallying more towards this area, this whole area over here. Maybe put some tanks at the